Welcome back to another episode of the All It Takes to Know Whiffs podcast. I'm Alex, that's Christian, and this is going to be another great episode. We are going to be recapping the divisional series round in both the AL and NL, and then we're also going to be previewing the really weird NLCS matchup we ended up having and the ALCS that finally concluded today. So I'm really looking forward to talking about this, but before we get started, make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications to know when we post new content.
The division series for both sides is finally over. The AL side came down to a nail biter, especially for me, but we're going to get into that in a second. Before that, we're going to be recapping the division series on both sides. To get started, the first series that concluded, you had the Philadelphia Phillies upsetting the Atlanta Braves. Sorry, Alex, but that was definitely a shock, in my opinion. I did not expect this by any means. If anything, if the Phillies were to win, I would expect them to come back and win in 5. But things just went different, like completely different. I gotta hear what you say about this, Alex, because I just have so many thoughts on this.
Yeah, so to be honest, I'm not really surprised Philly ended up beating us. They were super hot those last
Mm.
two series coming in to the postseason. Didn't have to take a break at all. Played in the wild card round, swept and looked really good over the St. Louis Cardinals. Oh well, I wouldn't say really good because game one they didn't score until the ninth inning. But I mean, against us, they looked really good. Their pitching was really good. And I mean, the exact things I said that they needed to do to stay in this series, they did and did more and to win the series. Bryce Harper, he's hot again. He came out, hit 3 or 2 home runs this series, something like that. Their bullpen was absolutely dominant. I'm not going to lie. And that is just something I really wasn't expecting at all, especially with how bad their bullpen had been all season long. And I mean, their starting pitching has been very good all year long. And they got 2 guys at the top of their rotation that are just absolutely dominant and shoving right now. And this is going to be the team, honestly, that I think that may come out of the NLCS. We'll get into that a little later, but I mean, Philadelphia Phillies look really good right now, and they're playing just great baseball. And also another thing, they played really freaking good defense. I'm not gonna lie. That's something I'd been harping on all year long that they had not been good at, and their defense was really good. Gene Segura is out there making diving plays. Nick Castellanos made a sliding catch with 1 out in the top of the ninth that really could have changed the entire series if he missed that. I think that the Braves would have ended up gone up and ended up in winning that game, but Philly looks really good right now, not gonna lie.
They for sure do. And I see what you're saying about not being surprised, even though they weren't necessarily favored in this series, because even though you want to root for your Braves, of course, just all the things you took into consideration, that's real. That's like huge factors. And that caught me off. Them winning the series caught me off guard. But yeah, with everything you're saying, for sure. Like, can't sleep on the Phillies because even against one of the AL teams, if they were to move forward and make it to the World Series, they're going to be putting up competitive baseball even against some of the best teams, and they've got that underdog vibe to them. And let's see what they do in this championship series, though.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, they kind of remind me of the Braves last year. They got hot at the right time, and they're playing really good baseball at the right time. So, I mean, is this gonna be the same repeat thing as the Braves last year? I mean, just honestly, that's what I think of the MLB playoffs is a lot of the times is just a team getting hot at the right time.
Yeah, you can be the best team for the entire season, and when the postseason comes around, you just run into that one team that picked it up in September, going into October, and it's a bad time. Kind of letting shots off at one team that we'll get into in a little. But as for this next division series, the Houston Astros beat the Seattle Mariners. They swept them in 3 games, and I feel like seeing the sweep on paper, it looks like they handled them pretty easily. And at times, you could say that they looked like they had the edge, but no, the Mariners are bringing it. the entire time, especially Game 3. God damn it, that was
Wild. 2
uh,
games basically.
2 games worth, and we saw who ended that. Like, I'm sorry, I'm cheesing right now, but Jeremy Pena, dog, the guy who's probably gonna take the Rookie of the Year crown, he bounced his team out of the playoffs. Statement. Nah, I'm gassing it up a little, but it's amazing to see the rookie, the the future star, step up like that for the Astros. Because if he didn't, that game probably would have gone another 6, 7 innings.
Yeah, I'm really happy he hit that home run because I'm not gonna lie, I watched that game from start to finish, and it took 6 hours for it to finish. I mean, luckily it was on a Saturday, so there was football on, so, I mean, it
Mm,
made it better, but, I mean, that was a wild series, to be honest. I mean, game 1, Yordan Alvarez's walk-off 3-run home run after being down, I think they were down 5 or 6 runs at one point, and then
mm.
game 2 was just it was a good game, but nothing compared to game 3. I mean, game 3 was wild. That was 18 innings or 17 innings of 0, no runs scored, and then 1 solo home run in the 18th inning. I mean, that was honestly one of the wildest and craziest games I have ever watched, and honestly, I would do it all over again because I mean, I just love baseball first off, but I mean, it was playoff baseball. I've never seen a playoff game last that long, and I mean, we had a 15-inning game earlier this postseason that was 0-0 going into the 15th, so I don't know what's going
Mhm.
on. Maybe the NLCS will have one go 20 innings.
Yeah, that could very possibly happen, but kind of hoping that they keep the action within 9 innings for
Yeah, I'd
a
rather have
lot of
that too.
them. But yeah, this series is definitely interesting. I know game 2, good game, didn't stand out like 1 and 3, but another thing to mention with game 2, Jordan right after the walk off, he hit the whole go ahead home run for them in game 2. That was the deciding factor. So seems like Jordan is on a mission right now this postseason, and that scares me for this championship series. But enough of that. The division series between the Astros and the Mariners, I think it's a nice sight to see because it's the Astros are still the top dog in the West, especially, but the AL in general, they're still a top dog. And the Mariners, you see them, they're on the come up. They're pushing the Astros. That was no easy effort from the Astros. It's dope to see it. It's dope to see the Mariners actually in the mix, and I feel like they're gonna be around and pushing teams to the edge years coming forward. Maybe they might become that team that has to be pushed to the edge. But as of right now, good progress for the Mariners, even though they took the L.
Oh, no, yeah, Seattle's gonna be around for a long time too. They got a super young core. I mean, their pitching is very good too. They got a great bullpen too. Didn't really know Munoz that much, but that dude can bring it. I didn't. He can throw
Mhm.
like 102, 103. That's crazy. But that was a great series, and I expect to see Seattle back in the playoffs for a very long time. Probably playing Houston too. I expect both of those teams. But to move on to one of the series that really, really surprised, I think, both of us, but we are kind of happy with the outcome because
Yeah.
the Los Angeles Dodgers lost to the San Diego Padres 3 games to 1. And
Once again.
like Christian is doing, once again, Los Angeles Dodgers have choked. 111 wins, tied for fourth most in Major League history. Um, doesn't even make it past the division round and only wins 1 game. Um, I know my Braves did the same thing, but they didn't have what they did this year, 111 wins. But this is just kind of crazy because I really did not expect this at all. I expected the Dodgers kind of to win this series pretty easily. So, Christian, what do you think about this?
Honestly, I feel like the Dodgers from this point moving forward should avoid Juan Soto in the postseason at all cost. They choke like crazy against him in 2019, and then they choke like crazy against him in 2022. Different teams, don't matter. But in all seriousness, yeah, the Dodgers are just some chokers, man. That's crazy. But to give credit to the Padres, they brought it. They were playing the best baseball I've probably seen them play this year. Juan Soto, I'm not singling him out because it was definitely a team effort, but he's definitely improved since the second half of the regular season. He's stepping up and providing a solid role that he wasn't necessarily doing in the second half, which was kind of alarming, but I'm just glad to see him doing it when it matters. And Machado leading the way for the Padres. I know Juan Soto's the name, but Machado definitely deserves his credit because he's leading that offense. Some timely pitching is coming through for the Padres, and they beat the 111 win Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm still processing it, to be honest with you. Like the championship series, it's starting, and this is still on my mind because there's no way you're as stacked as the Dodgers and you win one postseason game. That's insane. That might be one of the biggest chokes of their choke history. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, and some of those guys may not be back next year. Trey Turner, Cody
Mhm.
Bellinger, all free agents, so we'll see how that goes. But I mean, like you said, you got to give credit to the Padres still. And like you said, Manny Machado, he is having one hell of a postseason right now. I mean, he's putting the team on his back, and Josh Bell has not had a very good regular season. Picked it up a little bit after getting traded, but his postseason has been very good too. And Jurickson Profar, this dude has been unreal in the postseason this year too. I think he hit a home run off Serger and DeGrom, and then he hit a 3-run home run. Or I don't know if it's 3-run, but I know he hit another one in this series. So this Padres team is just playing really, really good baseball right now, and it's kind of just like the Phillies. They both got hot at the right time, playing good. So that's going to be a really good series. It's actually already underway. It's in the second inning as we're talking about it right now. But I'm really looking forward to that Padres Phillies series, and I'm going to be paying close attention to it.
Yeah, man, that championship series is about to be insane, and so is the ALCS. But before that, we've got the last division series to recap, and this one was a nail biter. We're fresh off it. The New York Yankees defeated the Cleveland Guardians in 5 games. Fucking hell, that series had me messed up. I'm not gonna lie. From Judge's early struggles in the series, which were alarming, but seeing him settle down was huge. And then you had some weird decision making from Aaron Boone, in my opinion, that had me nervous. And we were down 2 games to 1. I was kind of thinking we were about to fizzle out, not going to lie to you. And we didn't do that. Garrett Cole stepped up huge. And I feel like he deserves credit because for every mishap he has, he gets a lot of shit for it. Not saying it's not justified at times for sure, but it's pretty quiet. It's pretty quiet when he does step up, and he did that. 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, 2 runs. That was huge, game 4. And then Nestor did his thing on short rest today. 5 innings of 1-run ball. That seeing and then playoff Stanton stepping up in the first. We stepped up early. Judge with a dinger, and we took the dub. That was a huge weight off my shoulders because for a second I thought we were about to pull a Los Angeles Dodgers.
No, I definitely know that you're happy. And I mean, like I've been saying to you this whole season, this Cleveland team's super scrappy. And I wouldn't have been surprised if they would have pulled out a win against y'all for this series. But like you said with the struggles earlier, I really don't think that's too much on the hitters. I just think that Cleveland has that good of starting pitching. I mean, the first game, maybe not. Quintrell, he's a decent pitcher, but Shane Bieber and Tristan McKenzie, they're top 20, top 25 pitchers in MLB. I mean, both of them got nasty stuff, and both of them can control what they have. So, to be honest, it may have just been good pitching going up against y'all. But then again, you got to still hit in game 3, or not game 3, game 4, like you said, Garrett Cole, he earned that $300 million contract right there. And I know I saw a lot of Yankees people on Twitter praise him, and it's the same people that you see that give him the hate with all the mishaps, like you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really nice to see Garrett Cole come out and dominate like that, because that was a great, great outing for him, to be honest.
Yeah, and honestly, when I'm calling out the people that are silent when giving him credit, I wouldn't say I'm silent when I give him credit, but I'm not silent when it comes to criticizing because I just want to see my team succeed. And that's our ace right there, $300 million, like you just said, and it's for moments like these, and I'm happy for him. I'm ecstatic actually, and I'm not gonna take back what I said beforehand, but Garrett Cole, that's my ace. Let's get it. Keep it pushing. Championship series. Let's get it. Oh my god, I can't believe it. I thought we were gonna choke that shit, Alex.
Oh no. I mean, I know you're happy. I mean, your team's finally still in, and the only division or only championship series to have the top two teams make it, which is kind of crazy to be honest. But before we talk about the ALCS, let's talk about the NLCS first. This is going to be one very, very interesting series. It is a best of seven. You got the San Diego Padres and Philadelphia Phillies, like we've been saying, and um, both of these teams pretty evenly matched throughout
Mhm.
everywhere. I think this is going to be really, really good series. So, Christian, what do you think about it?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I see what you're saying. I agree that they're evenly matched, but I feel like the balance is a little different between the two teams. I would give the Phillies the edge offensively, while I would honest and like it's definitely closer on the pitching and defensive side, I guess. I would probably give the Padres that edge, but yeah, like you said, it's just evenly matched. This is about to be an interesting series. It's two underdogs up against each other, so it's like, how do you really approach this? Like, who's the underdog in this situation? But regardless, it's two teams that I feel like are going to be playing with fire and a lot of passion. There's a whole lot on the line, especially because they're both exceeding expectations and they want to, see it all the way through. Man, this series, I couldn't off the dome give you my predictions on who I'm going to give the prediction, but I could not tell you accurately who I think is going to win right now because it's evenly matched, like you said.
Yeah, and like you said about the pitching, I would give the slight edge to the Padres just because of the bullpen. I would
Mm-hmm.
probably give the better starting rotation to the Phillies, but it's still really close. I mean, Blake Snell didn't look good against the Dodgers, but I mean, if that dude can really pick it up, I think that the Padres will have the advantage in the rotation and in the bullpen. Because I mean, their bullpen has been lights out this postseason. So is the Phillies really. But I would still give the edge to the Padres. And like you said, it is super super hard to pick this series. But I kind of just want to know, what do you think each team needs to do to win this series?
In my opinion, each team would have to take advantage of their slight edges that I feel like each one has over each other. For the Phillies to win this series, I think they're going to have to go crazy with the offense because honestly, the way it's been looking for the Padres, they've been scrapping things together in timely moments a lot of times against the Dodgers that past series, and I feel like with the Phillies is they kind of flooded when it came to their offense. So I feel like they would have to have that sort of success to not leave any room for the Padres to have those comebacks and being able to stay in those games. And then for the Padres, I just think their pitching needs to be on top of their game. Like you mentioned, Blake Snell. If Blake Snell's on top of his shit, that's another arm that they've got to worry about. Joe Musgrove, honestly, looking like an automatic dub when he's on the mound this postseason so far. And you Darvish stepping up as well too. We know you Darvish has been a quality arm for a while, but he stepped up huge in the wild card, and he's continuing to pitch solid. I'm expecting him to have a solid championship series. And the thing with Darvish, I feel like he's definitely one of those kind of pitchers that steps up in the moment too. Like I could see for sure Darvish going crazy, and that would be not just Darvish, but their rotation and their bullpen being on top of their game, I think would be the key. Because maintaining those offensive surges for Philly from Philly, that's going to be the key for the Padres.
No, yeah, and I probably have to agree with you on that. And there's two guys in the Padres rotation who haven't really even seen the postseason. Sean Manaea and Mike Clevinger. Mike Clevinger did see the game one start for the Dodgers. Did not pitch very well, but I wouldn't be surprised if he honestly starts game 2 for this because his home and road splits are drastically different. I was looking at them yesterday, and he's got a 2.8 ERA at home and like a 5.2 on the road. So I think honestly, what they should do is just flip him and Blake Snell. Let Blake Snell pitch on the road and Clevenger pitch at home because that would be ideal if the splits are true. But the thing for the Phillies that I really think that they need to do is I think that starting pitching has got to go at least 6 or 7 innings every single game if they want to win. I don't think their bullpen is going to be able to withstand the whole postseason. I know they've been really good already, and I've praised them for it, but I just don't see this bullpen staying as good as they are right now. And I mean, Bryce Harper, I think he's got to continue to stay hot, and I think Kyle Schwarber's got to kind of come out of his funk. I know he went 0 for 15, I think his first 15 at bats against the Braves, and then kind of the last game turned it on. But I think if Kyle Schwarber can turn it on too, that they're going to be absolutely fine because this is a team that kind of lives by the home run.
Yeah, for sure. I see what you're saying with that, and it'd be dope to see Bryce Harper potentially in the mix for a World Series finally because it's been a while. The team that drafted him won before he got a hold of one. So, is this the year Bryce Harper finally does it? I personally hope not, but we'll see. But yeah, no, this championship series, this is about to be. It's tough to compare the two, but like I said earlier, the two underdogs up against each other, I feel like this could make for a really entertaining series, like historically entertaining. With all this stuff in mind, with a lot of uncertainty and nothing close to a guarantee, I'm going to have to ask you, Alex, what is your official prediction if you can get one right now?
Yeah, so this is kind of hard to pick, to
It's
be honest,
hard.
and I'm kind of going back and forth between two things right now, but it's the same team. I'm just trying to figure out how many games it's gonna
Mm,
be. So I think I'm gonna go with the Philadelphia Phillies in 6 games. I think that they're gonna get it done. Their starting pitching has been really good. I think their starting pitching it will be better than the Padres, and that bullpen, if it can hold up, it's gonna be a problem for the Padres, and those bats are probably gonna stay hot for Philly. So that's how I see it playing out, and I see Philly winning in 6.
I see those factors happening in Philly's favor for sure. And with that, all that in mind, the Padres fight is going to come through, and I think they're going to take it in 7. Uh, Philly's going to be they're going to be doing their thing for sure, but I think the Padres are going to be responding in most scenarios. And I think this is going to be like I said, the Padres got that fight, and I'm not insinuating this is the case, but the Nationals had that fight in 2019, and they've got a certain couple of players that were on that team, Juan Soto and Josh Bell. So maybe they're bringing that energy to San Diego. Who knows? I would love to see it because the Padres have been underrated. Not necessarily underrated all season, but they haven't been taken serious at all. We didn't necessarily take them serious, and here they are now. But I might be getting a little biased here. I want to see Juan Soto advance to another World Series too. So Padres in 7.
No, I can definitely see that. I mean, this is just gonna be a really entertaining series regardless.
Mhm.
And I think this next one is gonna be too. We have 2 of the best teams in all of baseball the past few years. This is a rematch of certain ALCS that Christian does not like to remember, but
Oh.
we have the Houston Astros versus the New York Yankees in a best of 7 for the American League Championship Series. Christian, take the floor. This is your team.
All right. First things first. Don't put Chapman on this championship series roster. First things first. This is a certain team. This is the last team I want to see Chapman up against. So yeah, even though he could be when he's good a valuable left-handed arm out of the pen, not against this team. No, no, no. But I am very conflicted with this series right here. And Alex, you know why? Because on a personal level, I want to see Jeremy Pena make history in the postseason, and I want to see him lead his team to success, of course. Well, any team he'd be on except for the Houston Astros, to be honest with you, because it's that personal when it comes to the Yankees. Like this is our get back season. This is us getting them back for 2017 kind of 2019 when Jose Altuve crushed my soul. I don't think I've ever felt defeat more than when he hit that walk-off home run to go to the World Series. But this I feel like it's a little different this year because as even though I would have to give the Astros the slight edge based off of history, I do think these teams are pretty well matched against each other. I don't want to say evenly matched because each team has their advantage in certain aspects, but it's not necessarily balanced. It's tough to say, but I'd have to give the edge to the Astros right now, just being objective.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think the Astros definitely are the better team. I think their pitching is not, I would say, a lot better than y'all's because y'all's starting rotation is pretty good, but their bullpen is better than y'all's. Y'all's bullpen has, I wouldn't say really fallen apart this year, but like injuries have done stuff. Chapman not being like his usual self anymore and just flat out not being there anymore
Hmm.
doesn't help. And I mean, like you said, or not like you said, but other than that, I think y'all are pretty evenly matched in the field. Y'all definitely probably have the best overall player in Aaron Judge. But, there is this guy named Yordan Alvarez who is extremely hot right now and playing like one of the best players in baseball. Okay, I wanna say playing like one of the best players in baseball because his defense has been horrible this postseason, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know
Yeah.
why they keep him out there in left field, put him at DH, but, other than that, this dude has been on fire, honestly, the whole entire season.
Hmm. Yeah, just off of ability and talent, I would like to say Jordan is a top 2 or 3 hitter in baseball. And the numbers they back it up relatively well but like you said, best overall player is on our side. And he's about to turn up this series because it seems like he's kind of catching a groove in the second half of that Cleveland series. And Aaron Judge, when he's hot, we saw it plenty of times this season. That could be the difference maker in this series. If Judge is coming through like regular season Judge in June, that's a problem for Houston. If Stanton is gonna be playoff Stanton, I saw something earlier today that through their first 23 postseason games, Stanton is tied for the most home runs with 11. And if he continues to step up like he did in Game 5 today, our offense, I think, can ride their backs. To be honest, it's just in those key situations, those two and then other contributing players, we need them to step up because I noticed that in our past series, a couple series against Houston in the playoffs, key moments, a lot of our key players would they would disappear. And it sounds kind of wild to say. One of those key players at the time was Gary Sanchez that we had to rely on. And Gary never stepped up. Like, I mean, he came through with like a nice extra base hit one time, if you remember that. But other than
Mhm.
that, Gary folds. And I'm just glad that, I don't have to worry about that this postseason. Whoever who's gonna be the guy that's gonna replace Gary's key role in this postseason series, but actually step up. And I'm gonna be honest, Harrison Bader's gonna be that guy because he's been solid. He's been
I
real solid.
I was literally just about to bring that up
Yes.
too. I was gonna say Harrison Bader, the way he's playing right now too, kinda reminds me of Eddie Rosario for last year
Yes.
for us. If he can be like that and play like this, he's 10 times better defender than Eddie Rosario too. So
Mhm.
he is gonna be out there every single game, but dude's been playing so good right now, and he's like one of those trades that we made last year that could be a huge difference for y'all in the postseason. And I'm glad you brought that up because I was gonna bring it up if you didn't.
Yeah. Nah, Harrison Bader, like you're saying, it's such a similar role because he came from the NL in the trade, just like Eddie Rosario was on an AL team, I'm pretty sure, before he went to
Mhm.
you guys. And it's like the pitchers, they're not used to pitching him, and they're gonna step up in these moments because of that. So Harrison Bader he's going to do what Altuve did to us in 2019. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, Bader has 5 home runs in the regular season. He has 3 home runs or in one series against Cleveland. I mean,
Yeah.
dude has already almost matched his regular he was hurt for a lot of the regular
Mhm.
season too, but he's also not known for his power. He's known for his defense and speed.
Yeah, looking back, I wasn't upset about the move of picking up Harrison Bader because I do think he's beforehand. I did think he was like a solid ball player, and it's always good to pick up a solid ball player. But we gave up Jordan Montgomery at the time, who was a solid piece in our rotation, so that had me worried. But right now, it's paying off. So Harrison Bader, he's going to be a key piece in this series against Houston as well. But I know I mentioned it earlier. Judge, Judge is going to be in my opinion, the biggest factor for the Yankees. If they're going to succeed, Aaron Judge is going to play like the MVP that he is in 2022.
No, I mean, I definitely can see that, and he's gonna have to, especially to beat this Houston team.
Um,
Houston's been the best team in the AL for the past 6 to 7 years, and, let's see if, the New York Yankees can upset them and or not, I wouldn't say upset them, but let's see if they can beat them. Um, so, who do you have winning this series, Christian? I think I already know, but how many games then?
no, we definitely know I'm going to be riding with my team, but it's real tough because, like we said, on paper, Houston's the better team. Not even on paper, Houston's the better team, and it's it's kind of an upset, but kind of not. I see your point on that, but it's an uphill battle for the Yankees. That's what it is. And if we were to do it, the most realistic way I see is in 7 games. So Yankees in 7. Yankees in 7. Jeremy Pena, please don't do nothing to change that. But go off at the same time. Go off in a crushing Houston defeat, please. Nah, I'm playing. Do your thing. Best of luck to
No.
both teams because this is about to be insane.
Oh, no, definitely, it's gonna be an insane series, and I think I'm sorry, but I think Houston's gonna be winning this in 6.
Don't blame me.
They've just been all around, probably the 2nd best team this year, behind the Dodgers, definitely the best team in the AL. I love that little chuckle right there, but, no, honestly, Astros, I just really don't see a flaw in their team, really. I mean, they're just so good. They have the experience. They've been there before. Really, the only players that haven't been there before is Jeremy, but I don't think that's going to matter because we saw what he did
Because
in
he's
the eight.
here.
Well, we saw what he did in the 18th inning. I mean, I would be tired of shit, honestly, at that point of the game. But I think that the Astros are going to be winning this in 6, and this is going to be a really good series too. I think both of these championship series are gonna be great.
Yeah, the couple great championship series coming up. This season is slowly but surely wrapping up. 2022 has been amazing this year so far, and it's gonna these last 2 series are about to top it off. It's gonna be an amazing end to this season, and it's gonna be number 28.
And that does it for another episode of the All It Takes NLDS podcast. We had another great episode recapping the divisional series and previewing the ALCS and the NLCS. That looks like it's going to be 2 great series, and got the World Series coming up soon. I know we're both looking forward to that. But before we get out of here, make sure y'all make sure y'all subscribe, and make sure y'all turn on notifications to know when we post new content. And also leave a comment on who you think is going to be winning the ALCS and the NLCS.
Yeah, go ahead and let us know your thoughts in the comment section. And you guys can also find us on our social medias if you want to let us know anything there or keep up with our polls. Uh, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ATNW Podcast. And you can also find my personal Twitter and Instagram at Christian_S52.
And you can also find mine at ahandy2215. This was another great episode this week, and we'll have another episode later on this week, recapping the great boxing card from last weekend and seeing if there's any good fights for this weekend. But until then, peace.
Peace. No trash cans for you guys, Houston.